Hey guys, it's Ellie, and I'm really pleased to have one of the best defensive players in the world as a female player. She's highly ranked in the world. She's a Malaysian international, and today you're going to see how to play against defensive players. I'm going to give you three main elements that will help you to play against defensive players, although this one over here, between you and me, did manage to just about beat me. So it's not that easy to beat those guys, but we do our best. Thanks for being with us.
Hi, I'm Alice.
So, with a defensive player who uses long pimples, please be aware there's many different types of pimples, so I'm going to give you a generalization here, but I'm going to try and explain to you the characteristics of long pimples. So if someone does a backspin ball, the friction on the rubber then is limited, which can turn into topspin because there is not a lot of friction. Having said that, with a top high-level player, they are still able to create backspin off a backspin ball with their pimples. And what they will do is a very fast movement and a heavy contact on the rubber, which makes the ball sink into the pimples and then get a little bit of grip, so it enables them to get backspin. They won't get as much backspin as a normal inverted rubber, I forgot. So the inverted rubbers, they can create a lot more spin. There's grip there, they can create backspin, topspin. Whatever you do, you're creating the spin. But here, you're limited with the grip. So I'm going to just quickly show you something here. I don't have my whiteboard today, so I'm going to show you this. Have a little look carefully. If there's topspin on the ball, with the pimples, the ball will still spin, and the limited grip will then mean the ball will continue spinning in the same direction that you spun it. So if you spin it with topspin and it hits the pimples, you will get backspin back. If you spin it with lots of backspin, then you will get topspin back. Hope that makes sense. Very difficult to explain on here, but if you try and kind of understand this, then you'll have a better knowledge and ability to play against long pimples. But again, be aware, some players such as Alice can still use the pimples to very heavy backspin or no spin on the ball, or the other way around. So this is a rough guideline. Okay, so generally what's going to happen, I'm going to demonstrate it here. If someone puts a lot of backspin, someone with pimples, when they push it back, it will come back with topspin, which I mentioned before. So have a little quick look here at what happens. You see the ball kicked off my rubber. One more time. Kicked off my rubber with a little bit of topspin. But Alice is a very high quality player. She can still do a backspin ball if she wishes, but you'll see her technique slightly changes. See how the ball kicked down? One more time. Ball kick down. Now do one float, like a topspin one, and one backspin. Backspin. Sorry. Topspin. Topspin. Can you see the difference? One more time. Backspin. Little bit of topspin. Okay, so as you saw, those are the basics of a player who uses the pimples. So you have to experiment and learn how it works and notice the action. Are they giving lots of backspin? Are they floating it through, which then generates topspin? But then when you go to the next level, then you've got lots of varieties, which Alice is about to show you. She can do many, many different things with her pimples, which makes it extremely difficult for a player to deal with. Let's have a little look. Oh, geez. Oh, that's nice. Good. Good. You may have noticed there she twiddled. So at the last second, she spun her and then gave me loads of backspin. That's another really difficult thing when you're playing a defender, to keep an eye on what they're actually doing. Good, good. Hit. Good. Good. So as you saw, there's loads of variations. Having said that, at the same time, it's not just difficult for me, it's also difficult for her, because she has to be aware of what she's doing, and then she has to adapt to what I'm doing. So it's a very, very cat and mouse game or chess game. So the next element when you're playing a defender is really important to not just play in one section, meaning short or long. You want to try and bring them in and out. Obviously you want to take them out wide, but generally defenders are quite good going side to side. Where they struggle more is going in and out, and that's where you might find you'll pick up a few more points. So I'm going to demonstrate to you what not to do and what to try and do. So the first thing here is, if you're just pushing the ball, this is where the defender is in their element, and you're trying to beat the fire with fire. It'll be very difficult for you, and this is where they feel very comfortable and they can stay playing this all day long. This is what they train at. So therefore you want to try and mix things up. The second thing you want to try and avoid is keeping them out of the table where they're defending the whole time. This is where they feel comfortable again. All they need to do is stay in one kind of position, maybe move left to right, but this is where they have time to defend and then hopefully get an unforced error from you like I just did there. So my advice to you is not to try and keep a certain type of play, but to mix the play up. So you're going to notice here, hopefully, I'm going to bring Alice in and out. Sometimes I'm going to change the strokes, and then you potentially may see maybe a few more unforced errors from her or me. Oh. Good. So you notice there, bringing her in and out makes it a little bit more difficult for her, because she has to change the stroke. Where initially, if she's only pushing, then her stroke stays the same and steady. If she's away from the table and chopping, again, her stroke stays steady. But when she goes in and out, she has to change the stroke. The strokes become a little bit shorter when she's close and big again when she's out. So that technical change can cause an unforced error from her or any defender that you're playing. Okay, now we do it one more time, and she wants to demonstrate the other problem that I have. She might attack me. Okay, here we go. So there's another problem that I might have, or you may have, is you have to be very careful when you're pushing. I suggest a few things. Number one, don't just push loose like I did, because a good defensive player these days will not just defend. They will come in and attack you, like she just blasted the ball past me. So I'm going to give you two little tips here. If you are going to push, do your best to try and push short, if you can, so then they can't attack you. And if you're struggling to push short, then I suggest not to push medium length. So not to just push it on, I suggest to push it long and fast, which then keeps them away from the table. And even if they do attack, they attack late, and it gives you time to block it or counter-attack it. The last thing I would tell you when you're playing a defensive player is do your best to attack their crossover, the middle section. The reason I say this is if you're playing a normal attacking player and you go to their crossover, they are a little bit more in a better position than a defender. Because if someone attacks me to the middle, I can play a short stroke and still play a positive ball on the table. Having said that, for a defensive player, they cannot chop in a short motion. If they chop in a short motion, the ball will generally kick up, or they will not get a lot of spin. Therefore, they have to play a big stroke And because they have to play a big stroke from the middle, if you catch it right, generally they will not have the time to play a big stroke and give you a weak ball, or you'll get an unforced error from them. So there's a nice little tip. Let's have a look at it in action. Straight away, I got her. Nice. So you notice she was a little bit inconsistent there. She got a few on, and even if she did get them on, maybe they weren't as high quality as compared to this. So if I go directly to her forehand, you can see she's a lot more comfortable, getting lots of spin, nice and easy. And the same thing if I go to her backhand, she's comfortable, she's comfortable. I go to her middle, you can see she's uncomfortable straight away. Sorry to make you look bad. Ooh, that was nice. You know the beauty of this serve? The beauty of this, it shows that she's looking in a peripheral vision, and that's what you want to do when you play your opponent. Oh! Sure! Well, as you can see, playing a defensive player is very, very difficult. They have many different skills, and the better they are, especially like Alice, they can do lots of different things regardless whether they're playing with the pimples or a normal inverted rubber. So please be aware that it takes practice. If you can find a defensive player in your local league or in your club, practice against them and you'll learn how to play against heavy backspin, where to put the ball, how to try and generate points, not just by trying to hit the ball as hard as you can. So Alice, thank you so much for being with us today and sharing your amazing skills.
Thank you. Thank you.
Awesome. See you next time, guys.
See you.